Center L. Duncan, Jay Harris, and our draft night Woj bomb for you. Our agent Wojnarowski reporting the Lakers are nearing a deal with the Wizards to acquire Russell Westbrook for Kyle Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell, and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and a 2021 first-round draft pick. For more on the breaking news, let's welcome in NBA analyst Kendrick Perkins. What's your initial reaction to Russ potentially joining the Lakers?
Oh, I love it. And look, Jay, I don't want to hear about can it work, can LeBron James and Russell Westbrook, they need shooting and all this. I don't want to hear that. It's going to work. It instantly makes them the favorites to come out of the Western Conference. Can we revisit the Miami Heat, D. Wade and LeBron James with a Chris Bosh? This is a similar thing, right? You have Russell Westbrook and LeBron James, and then you have Anthony Davis. You go out and get a couple of shooters, but they're going to make it work. We're talking about Russell Westbrook and LeBron James, two of the most polarizing figures to ever play the game of basketball. It's going to happen. And the Brody is going back to his hometown of L.A. Whew. Talking about smoke in the city.
Lots and lots of it. Okay, so if this goes through, where are the Lakers, in your opinion, on the title favorite ladder?
Oh, I'm betting my house on them. They're going to win it all. You know why? Because LeBron James has did something in these last 2 years far as being in the Laker uniform, and that's he has added and adjusted his game. We're watching him now as he's becoming more of a guy that could play off the ball, a spot-up shooter. And we already know how Russell Westbrook is going to impose his will. Can you imagine Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis in a pick and roll? How can you stop that? With Anthony Davis rolling to the basket, being a live threat at the rim, Russell Westbrook, the most athletic point guard in today's game, the most athletic point guard to ever play in the NBA, coming at you with a head of steam. Good luck.
All right. Kendrick Perkins, enjoy the draft tonight. Thank you for your analysis and your insights, sir.
I appreciate it, Jay. I miss you, my brother.
Miss you. To Russell Westbrook possibly joining the Lakers and LeBron, AD, and crew?
Well, first of all, if he ends up with the Lakers, obviously, even though they were in the championship picture last year before AD and LeBron periodically went down, definitely Russell Westbrook elevates your chances. There's no denying that. He averaged about 22 a game, which was down by about 5 points from his previous year, but he shot better from three-point range. First time he shot better than 30% from three-point range over the last 4 years. He's 32 going on 33 in November. He's an electrifying athlete. We all know that, an incredible finisher at the basket, an incredible player in the open court. The question about Russell Westbrook is going to be very, very simple, and that's going to pertain to his shot from the perimeter. Can he be a better three-point threat? Because usually that's what things come down to in the Western Conference postseason play. That's the question about him, but that appears to be the only question. He's a significant upgrade, not just from, Schroeder or anybody else, but all the guys mentioned in the trade, the Kuzmas, Harrells of the world, Kentavious Caldwell-Popes. None of them even combined are Russell Westbrook, particularly when he gets going. And the notion of him being with LeBron and being with Anthony Davis is something that's incredibly, incredibly formidable, particularly when you consider the fact that it's Laker tradition, the Staples Center, that's his home, et cetera, et cetera. It would be an electrifying situation, no doubt.
How would you answer that question? Can Russ be that threat, that three-point threat?
Oh, hell no. That's my only reservation about him. He defends. He goes all out. He never cheats you with effort. He's a superstar talent. He is the most athletic point guard in the history of the National Basketball Association. Make no mistake about that. But when defenses come playoff time, defenses, when they get back on defense and they don't give you but so many opportunities in the open court and they turn you into a half-court team and you struggle to hit three-point shots, that can be detrimental. Now, LeBron James, he could create shots for LeBron James. He certainly could create shots for Anthony Davis along with various other teammates that he'd have available, and maybe they'd hit those shots. But if you're asking him to be that shot maker, well, there's a reason that he's lost to the likes of Steph Curry, Donovan Mitchell, and of course, Damian Lillard in the postseason. It's primarily due to the fact that those dudes are marksmen, especially Steph Curry and Damian Lillard. And Russell Westbrook, that's the one thing you can't say about him. Everything else is there. there's a question mark in terms of his long-range perimeter shooting.
I know LeBron didn't go to the Lakers to just get one title. If this goes through with this lineup, this current roster, what's the Lakers' window to get another chip before it's all done?
I think 2 years. I think they'd have 2 seasons. Russell Westbrook will be 33 next season, 34 the season after that. But let's be very, very clear. He is a superstar. He's a superstar talent, make no mistake about it. Anthony Davis, when healthy, is a superstar, one of the top 5 players on the planet, but his durability is a question mark. And we all know that LeBron James is one of the top 2 players on the planet. I don't care what Giannis or anybody else is doing. We know how great that is. And so this would definitely be a trio to be reckoned with. But still, Brooklyn would have something to say about it. To a lesser degree, Milwaukee would have something to say about it. If the Clippers stayed together and everybody was healthy, they'd have something to say about it. So there would be teams in both conferences that would try to be roadblocks, and they'd have a legitimate chance. But there is no question if this deal goes through, it would be a significant upgrade for the Los Angeles Lakers, and they would clearly be one of the favorites, if not the favorite, to win it all, because you had some people having them as the favorite last year when it was just LeBron and Anthony Davis. Imagine if Russell Westbrook was in that lineup. That's how big this deal is. There's no doubt about that.
Stephen A. Smith breaking down. I appreciate you.
All right.
Nearing a deal with the Wizards to acquire Russell Westbrook for Kyle Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell, and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and a 2021 first-round pick. Sources tell our Adrian Wojnarowski what a power shift of Russell Westbrook potentially joining LeBron James out in L.A. As we now bring in Woj, she's joining us now from Brooklyn as we prepare for tonight's draft. Woj, what else can you tell us about this Laker deal for Westbrook?
Well, this has been a conversation, I'm told, that has gone back and forth for a period of time now, and that the two sides now feel like they are nearing a possible deal that would deliver Russell Westbrook to the Lakers. Now, the Lakers had continued and had been talking also simultaneously about a deal that would have brought them Buddy Hield from Sacramento for some of the parts that are in this proposed Wizards trade. Kyle Kuzma and Montrezl Harrell. Montrezl Harrell opted into his contract for next season earlier today, I was told, and that allows him to be included in these trades. I think Sacramento would still like to be aggressive in trying to get that deal complete. But I think for Washington, the chance to get some salary cap flexibility moving forward with Bradley Beal, bring back KCP, Kyle Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell, some solid veteran players, another first-round pick in this year's draft, and then see if they can try to re-sign Bradley Beal and then be able to go out in the marketplace and try to get a big free agent in the future. But right now, Washington and L.A. are trying to complete this deal.
Unbelievable. Russell Westbrook was already the first MVP to be traded in consecutive seasons. So he's just adding now 3 straight seasons of an MVP being traded. Really unbelievable there. What other teams are engaged in trade talks among the top of the draft?
Well, certainly Philadelphia continues to try to find a new home for Ben Simmons. They're asking for a lot. Their asking price is steep. Simmons has 4 years left on his deal. They don't have to do a deal here at the draft. They're certainly prepared to take this into free agency.
And look, free agency starts in a week. DeRozan spoke to Shannon Sharp on the Club Shay Shay podcast about what his priorities are. Here is what he said.
At this point, you gotta weigh out the opportunity of winning a championship kind of more. You know, especially with the career I had, I've been fortunate to make a lot of money. Yeah. You know what I mean? But at this point, the ultimate goal is always to compete for a championship.
First of all, shouts to the Club Shay Shay set designer, because that's a very nice setup there. But Bobby, more importantly, what are your expectations for DeMar DeRozan in free agency?
Yeah, it's funny, Rachel. He is the one player that's kind of flown under the radar as far as we've heard, certainly Chris Paul's name and Kawhi Leonard. But DeMar DeRozan has flown under the radar. And I think there's 2 schools of thoughts as far as with him. It's the teams that have cap space that are playoff teams. So now you're looking at a team like New York, potentially Miami. But if you go to New York, is that a win now situation with RJ Barrett and Julius Randle? And can you maybe get another player to come with you? And I think the most logical situation is going to be trying to work out some type of sign and trade. The last 2 years, there's been 16 players sign and trade. I would circle the Lakers as a possible destination just because it fits. It fits as far as DeRozan wanting to go back home and playing for a championship level team. I think it fits because if you're San Antonio,